She, of course, is the host of the weekly NPR show Ask Me Another. Looking on feedback also, MJG saying, what does bleakly stylish mean?
What does bleakly stylish mean?
That is how NPR describes you.
Actually, it was the New York Times. I don't mean to, but drop another liberal medium. Bleakly. It's so funny. It was just a really small thing taken from an article that Jason Zeideman wrote on. It was a review. He was talking about storytelling, but then it ended up being a review of me, and it was. He said a lot of nice things, but I kind of like that bleakishly stylish. It's a very New York Times kind of word. I think it just means bleak, actually, is what I think. It just means bleak. I think there's something about me that is a little bleak.
Congrats on you and the Times.
Oh, yeah, that was a few years ago, but I will say that when that guy, he called me to fact check something.
Right.
And I didn't know he was at the show.
Okay.
I didn't know he was writing a review. He kind of caught me in a really odd moment where I was not in my greatest state of mind. And I was like, he wanted to know something about the story I told. And I was like, what's going on with you? He goes, well, I'm writing about storytelling and I'm doing a review of you. And my heart stopped. And I said, well, is it nice? And he said, I can't tell you.
Wow.
Oh. And I was just like, it better be nice. And I
thought that's in the Constitution, they have to say.
No, they don't have to. It's a review. And then
could you help me with this article?
Oh, yeah.
I need you to spell your last name. It's a little convoluted. I can't tell you if this is good or bad.
Yeah, but that's just the way it is. That is how it works. So I hung up the phone, freaked out, and then I just went, well, I sent him the story because I had a hard copy of it. I said, here's a story.
Wow, you really helped him then.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
And then
maybe you'll like reading it better.
I was so scared of that review. I was like, oh my God, this is what it's. I didn't really have much press, and I was like, this will be what it's like to just go down in flames.
Right.
Because it was not my greatest performance. And a matter of fact, I went over time, so I just ended the story where I had to. I just kind of left it on a cliffhanger. Turns out everyone saw that as a amazing device, totally took it in the wrong way.
Good.
And he wrote this very glowing thing, which was, I was so pent up with anxiety of what it was going to be that when it was actually nice, I bawled. I just started crying, and it wasn't out of happiness. It was out of pure anxiety release.
Well, you probably planned out, okay, I'm going to have to burn down all the newsstands. I'm going to have to, wait, New York Times goes all over.
Yeah, exactly. I was right. Exactly. I was going to move to South America, to a different America. I was going to leave.
When you know you're being written about, do you always have that anxiety get built up?
Oh, yeah. I feel like not. You often know. This one, the fact that I didn't know, I guess in hindsight was better because you can't really
get nervous for the show.
Yeah, and invest in it and start, if anything goes wrong, you start going into your head and you're like, oh, great, now it's going to be terrible and blah, blah.
Right.
But
when you know that one person is there, it feels like all your words are just going directly to that one person. And it's like, how is he going to misinterpret this information that really should be just a blanket statement of sorts,
Here's how I operate all the time. You probably hate me. Bleakishly stylish. I think it's where but I always go with you probably already hate me.
Wow.
So then it just and then I feed more into that. But, I do a lot of, before I go on stage when that happens, I say to myself, well, if they never ask me back and I never do the show again and it never happens again, I guess, I'll get a job.
Are you? I find myself like this. When I say I'm an optimist, nobody believes it. I am. I think everything's going to work out in the end. I know I'm happy, but I know there's going to be a lot of problems throughout, and almost that's what keeps me happy. So when something does fail or there's a catastrophe, I'm like, yeah, I figured. Why would it work?
Exactly. If something actually goes well, I'm slightly suspicious. I'm going to need a little bit more evidence.
Are we still defining optimist here?
Mm-hmm, yes, I think so.
We are.
Because I don't think NPR would pass that.
But most
definition.
The problem with pessimist, at least the word, is that you think a person is negative or sad or upset, and I'm not. I'm happy knowing that another problem.
Just as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I still think that's a pessimist, or there's got to be another word, because an optimist, I don't think so.
Right, I get. I get what you're saying.
A realist. Maybe it's a realist.
I'm a realist, and everything will be bad. Yay!
But your real view is a pessimist. Like you're a realist in that the world is
not going to go well.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's realistic.
Like even this conversation, I don't even care. Do you know what I mean?
Hamda is obviously an optimist.
Do you know how much I want to get rid of that?
You have, but
it's a disease. Treat it like alcoholism. I'm trying.
I usually drink to get happier, actually, so I can't treat it like alcoholism.
Oh, I see. Okay.